Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Earlier today, an email came in from John Grabinski asking, I have a Toshiba satellite notebook running Windows Vista Home Basic. For some reason, a few weeks ago, 2 of my 4 USB ports just stopped working all of a sudden. I've tried uninstalling the drivers, but they reinstall themselves almost instantly. Are there any other settings I can change? Kind of odd. I don't know if that necessarily be related to Windows Vista necessarily. It may be related to the hardware. Of course, if you said that you uninstalled the drivers and it reinstalled right away, that would lead me to believe that it probably isn't necessarily a hardware problem, because if it was a hardware problem, then Vista wouldn't, or any operating system wouldn't be able to recognize the hardware. And I guess that's the next troubleshooting step I'd ask you. When rebooting your machine, if you can see a diagnostic of what pops up on your screen, it'll tell you how many ports or how many hubs that you have connected by USB. Is one way of detecting whether or not the hardware is actually fried. Now, another question is the USB ports. You said you've tried uninstalling the software only to have it reinstall right away. Are you talking about uninstalling the devices or uninstalling the software that your USB devices are taking advantage of or need in order to run? They're kind of two different things. But since you're saying they reinstall themselves right away, it's kind of odd. So it sounds like your USB ports are kind of malfunctioning. Here's a question for you. And it's too bad he's not here right now, but but like I said, this information might be good for anybody having USB headaches. In fact, I do have a freeware solution, file of the day, if you will, for everybody dealing with USB headaches. Have you tried taking that connected USB device and putting it into a port that you know works, so that isn't malfunctioning? It's another suggestion. Another thing that you might consider doing, you're running a laptop with Vista. Did you get it with Vista? Did you have XP on it? Do you still have XP on it? Does the hardware work on XP? Does the hardware work on another machine that's running XP, or does hardware work on another machine with Vista? You can see how this can become a kind of a troubleshooting nightmare, especially when you're dealing with this kind of a mix between a new operating system like Vista, which doesn't have mature drivers, when you're dealing with hardware that may be flaky to begin with, and when you're dealing specifically with USB. This system, as people have seen in the past, they've watched me while I was typing at my computer. Since I've got this camera connected to my Mac right now, I was working on this computer and it blue screened on me, and it was largely due to a USB and a software conflict. As far as troubleshooting USB problems is concerned, let me see if I can, I'm going to bring you in a little closer to my nice 30-inch screens. By the way, this camera is a Canon GL2. I've had it for years, but I never really took advantage of it. Gosh, that is a little low. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it now. Essentially, this program that I'm running is USB DView. USB-DE-VIEW, and I'm sorry that the screen brightness is a little high right now. When I install Parallels on the Mac, I'll be able to install a version of Windows and then run it on there and just do a live screen capture. USB to View essentially is a free utility from nearsoft.net, and let me check, because NIRSOFT.net. This guy has written Nearsoft has written like a million utilities, all freeware, and they're great. He's probably one of my favorite freeware authors of all time. A lot of them have been helpful in troubleshooting problems or nearsoft.net. This is the USB DView, and what you can do with it, what's nice, is that you have all this hardware that's connected to your system, and sometimes you have problems with USB not working that doesn't work. With this, effectively, it shows all your USB devices. You can select them in one fell swoop, right-click, and you could delete them all. You can uninstall them all, and then basically reset everything. So if I went through, selected them all, and then went to File, Uninstall Selected Devices, or Disconnect Selected Devices, and then uninstall them, essentially I'm wiping the slate clean. I could reboot the machine, and when I boot it up again, chances are it definitely will go back, and it will redetect every USB device that's connected to the system. This is by far a tool that everybody running Windows, whether you're running XP or I think it'll work with Windows 2000, or if it's even Windows Vista, it works just fine. You need to have this, because there's going to come a time when you're going to need to troubleshoot a USB device. I've had to clear this thing so many times because I plugged something in, it doesn't work, or the driver didn't install right, and I couldn't figure out, because sometimes the instruction manual will say, make sure you install the software before you plug it in. Well, if you accidentally do that, you may have screwed something up. This could help unscrew that, so to speak, this software. Freeware, USB DEVIEW, and nearsoft.net, NIRSOFT.net is absolutely fantastic. It's a treasure trove of free troubleshooting files for your entire system. So yeah, that I gave you hopefully some help in terms of troubleshooting USB devices or that aren't working with your system. And if you've tried all that and all else fails, chances are that particular part of your USB system has shuffled off its mortal coil. It has ceased to be. It is an ex-USB set of ports, and you may have to get it replaced. Now, if it's you said, wait, Toshiba Satellite, so it's a laptop. Hopefully it's under warranty. If you bought it through like Best Buy or somewhere like that, you can take it in if you're covered. I know plenty of people have done that, and it worked out for them just fine. I was going to say, if you're having an issue with USB on your motherboard, instead of necessarily going out and replacing the motherboard, if you want to add USB ports, of course you can do this with a laptop too. You can just plug in like a hub. It's like a 7 or 4 port hub. Or they make PCI cards if you still have a PCI slot in your actual desktop. This isn't a desktop, but I'm saying it's a solution with 5 USB ports, USB 2.0 ports. And I had one of those when they first released it. I think it was Belkin released it. No, Adaptec released it. And I no longer have it because I just sent it inside the system that Lord Cat is going to be getting. So he gets an extra 5 USB ports on a PCI card because I couldn't fit it into my current system because it doesn't have enough PCI slots anymore. So good luck with the USB problems. USB troubleshooting is quite tricky. And if you do have any other issues and we didn't answer this or help you out as far as we could, or if anybody else has any suggestions, we're always live here at live.pirillo.com. And someone asked for a barrel roll, so I haven't done one in a while. Here we go.